Army generals.
Shout out to Hate Army.
Your name is Hate Army? Saying Hate Army shit.
Hate Army shout out.
Good vibes to the Hate Army.
Shout out for hate.
The other story I want to talk about is the whole the whole Star Wars Jedi Survivor fiasco. And I have seen some weird stuff. All right? And, I mean, here's the truth. I should be able right now to outright say what I want to say. But because I have a bunch of stalkerish assholes who come after me for everything I say, they try to cause problems. All right? Well, fuck those people. Really. I mean, I'm a person who should be able to say whatever I want and be able to criticize things when I see bullshit. And I'm going to do so this morning. I don't care. All right? And please understand, what I'm about to talk about is not trying to start shit with anyone. It's me trying to be transparent and honest with my audience and telling you my real feelings. All right? So as you know, I keep saying Street Fighter. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has launched, and it's a huge mess. On PC, it's nearly unplayable for most people. On console, there's constant frame drops and issues. On PS5, it crashes. On Xbox Series X, the frame rate's all over the place. And it's just not a fun experience when you get to harder parts of the game. And these things that you're supposed to be reacting to, you can't. You're dying. It's like, screw this, right? Well, for the most part, the internet is in consensus about this, all right? But I've noticed there's a couple people out there, a few content creators in general, who are bigger, who are basically almost like trying to shame people for being honest about their experiences with this game, all right? I saw some things that I shook my head at last night. So I saw this tweet, and I'm going to say it. Too bad. Dr. Disrespect put out a tweet last night. And he's like, I was just playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor on my super duper high-end PC rig, you know, my $40,000 graphics card and my fucking top-of-the-line configuration. He says, and I played it for several hours. I didn't have any performance issues whatsoever. And so people out there, these gamers today are just fucking whiny baby bitches and they need to shut the fuck up. I'm not even kidding. He made a tweet. I paraphrased, but that's essentially what his tweet said. Okay? And I'm reading this and I'm like, it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable that it's 2023 and we still have content creators that literally don't care what they say online. They feel no air of responsibility. They feel like no moral compass when they say shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, all right, I was a very irresponsible person. I said and did things that caused a lot of drama because I didn't really give a shit. I didn't really realize the impact that my words had on the internet. I didn't realize that with the following that I had as a content creator, that things that I said and did had definitive consequences, all right? I used to hate on Minecraft all the time. I used to hate on other indie games and stuff all the time, and people would say, why are you so against them? And I'd be very stupid and say things like, oh, you know, they're kiddie games and shit like that. Then years later, I play them like, man, I totally understand why people like these games. Boy, was I ignorant and stupid back then because of dumb shit that I said, right? When I started as a content creator and I was very popular at the beginning there, I was very irresponsible. Now I look back and I'm ashamed of myself, of the things that I said and did and how I conducted myself. Because now I realize there are people who took what I said as like fact and probably went and dumped on things and hated on things unfairly and acted like jerks because they were like, oh, my guy that I look up to on the internet, DSP, said it, so it must be true. All right, today, it's very simple. I got to pay attention to what I say and do because I realize now that there are impactful things that can happen as a result of what you say on the internet. If you have a following at all, whether it's a ginormous following or a tiny one, you still have a following. There's people who trust what you do, okay? And you got to be careful. I'll give you an example. Personally, I look at a game like Cult of the Lamb, and it doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't look like it would be anything interesting to me. I could be completely wrong, but at least when I look at Cult of the Lamb, I say, hey, perfectly fine if you enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. Go play it. For me, personally, it looks like kind of one of those flash-in-the-pan, viral popularity indie games. It doesn't look like anything that I would really enjoy after like a stream or two, and I don't think it's worth my time. But by all means, you go enjoy it if that's your cup of tea, right? Back in the day, I'd be like, that game's a piece of shit. The only reason anyone would play it is because some streamer played it. It's junk. It's for kids. It's crap. Forget about it. And I'm not gonna say stuff like that anymore because I've grown. I've become way more mature and intelligent in my head. I've become much wiser. And I realize that words like that can be harmful, right? And stupid, quite frankly. It's just it's an uneducated take. If I've never played the game, how can I crap on it? That'd be pretty stupid. What I can tell you is it doesn't look like it appeals to me. That's why I don't want to play it on my stream. And that's my justification for kind of avoiding the game. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game and I should be shitting on it like I used to a decade ago. Okay? But when you're someone the level of Dr. Disrespect or other, because it wasn't just him. I'm singling him out because he was like the most prominent one that did it. And I don't know if Dr. Disrespect has some kind of a partnership contract with EA or not. I don't know if money is a factor here or what it is. All right? But it's this simple. People are not just making this shit up on the internet to get jollies off to destroy Jedi Survivor. All right? The game is running horribly for a lot of people. Thousands of people have documented their awful experience. That's why it's being review bombed on Steam. That's why people are posting up memes about it all over the internet. I have video evidence. My first 5 hours, the first 2 hours were choppy. The final hour was so choppy, it was literally unplayable. Okay? Literally unplayable. So, my experience is I'm having these issues. And when you see a tweet like that from this guy, it's not just like, well, I had no issues, but I feel sorry for those who are, this sucks. It's no, I had no issues, therefore everyone who's bitching on the internet is just a whiny little bitch and they need to grow up. Like, he literally said that in his fucking tweet. It's like, dude, do you not understand? With the size of the content creator that you are, with the audience you have, and the attention you bring, when you say shit like that, it's harmful. What you're doing, you're actually hurting the gaming community. All right? You're essentially saying, oh, it's good, just ignore all the problems with launch games. No one should ever complain or demand better. Just pay money and shut the fuck up. No, that is completely contradictory to what we should be doing. We should be standing up for our rights as consumers. When we buy a game and it runs like shit at launch, we should be collectively getting together and we should be saying, no, we demand better. We paid you our money, now give us a quality product. Now, just because you're a big game studio like EA, well, you'll fix it in 3 months, right? No, we paid it. You need to freaking give us exactly what we want, right? So, I don't know. And the thing is, perhaps it's bullshit. Maybe he was joking. Maybe he was. I don't know. I didn't watch him play it on his stream. But it's kind of silly to make a tweet like that. Because even if it's a joke, it's a harmful joke. Because people will see that and think he's being serious. Wow, Dr. Disrespect says there's nothing wrong with this game. Now people might go buy it. I just, again, it continues on with the line of irresponsibility. I hate to say it. This guy has shown a track record of irresponsibility with his actions over the years. He kind of thinks that he can just do whatever he wants and everything's just a joke, right? No. When you have that level of popularity, you have to start treating yourself seriously and responsibly. And even if it's a joke tweet, it was a parody tweet. It's actually, I believe, the opposite. Then don't make the fucking tweet. It's stupid. An outsider will see that tweet and be like, no, he's supporting the game. Like I said, reading the tweet, you'd think he has a partnership with EA or something, So, it wasn't him, it was a few other people too. And again, maybe these are people trying to make sarcastic jokes about it, but I think that it's kind of more harmful than good. You shouldn't be doing that in today's modern day. You can't read sarcasm on the internet in a post. In a video, perhaps you can. If it was a whole long-form video and he was being tongue-in-cheek sarcastic, that's different than just a tweet. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. The way I see it is, the game really sucks for everyone. I don't think now's the time to joke about it. Now's the time to be serious about it and be like, nah, the game sucks and we all deserve either refunds or a better game. You know what I'm saying? So some people are arguing with me. Yeah, I know. Here it comes, right? Here comes the fucking fanboy defense force, whatever. Yeah, because just because someone's a big content creator, they're immune to any criticism, right? God forbid. I'm not crapping on the guy. I'm not saying his content's bad. I'm saying I think it was a pretty irresponsible tweet on his behalf. And like I said, it's not just him. There's a couple others as well that were smaller than him who were kind of making similar tweets or even responding to his tweet. And I was like, this isn't good because people will read this out of context. And they'll actually think that this is real. And then they're going to say, oh, well, I believe what this guy says. They'll go buy the game. And then they find out, oh, the guy was fucking lying. It was a joke. Oh, yeah, a real funny joke. I just lost $70. Ha, ha, ha. Right? Anyway. All right, so I hope they patch the game. The thing is, I'm not even lying. Like, I like the game, and I'm pissed because I want to play Jedi Survivor right now. Like, I was in the middle of a cool area. I was exploring this town. I was fighting droids, boss fights, and I had to stop playing it. And I really want to play it, so I hope they patch it soon. Like, if they, like I said, the ideal state, if they patch it like Wednesday and I can start playing it again on Thursday, I'd be really happy. So I hope that they actually do patch it and it ends up being better. Okay. Okay. Arkham, I understand what you're saying. He's saying he's playing it on PS5. There's no issues. I should try playing it on PS5. I'm not rebuying the game. I already spent $70 on it. Well, I take it back. $62.99 plus tax. So it was just under $70 with tax for me. I just basically, I already bought. I'm not buying it again. I'm not made of money. I'm not going to throw money and buy it again on another console. And by the way, I'm not redoing 5 hours of gameplay again either. You know what I mean? Like, that's time. That's money invested. I should be able to play it whatever I want, and it should work. And if it doesn't, I should get a fucking refund. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? So I hope it ends up working. I hope they patch it soon. Bug Catcher is of the impression no one's going to play this Star Wars game after 2 weeks pass. When another game comes out, Star Wars lacks long-term replayability. Well, that's probably a good point. It's not just about Star Wars. It's actually about the fact that with games, they have a very small window. Unless all right, there's an exception. If it's a competitive game or an online game, all right, that's different. Usually competitive games and online games have a bigger window. But if it's just a story-based game, especially single-player games, they typically have a very small window of I'd say about a week to a week and a half from launch, where they get big hype, they get a lot of attention, and everyone's kind of talking about them, they're memeing about them, you know what I'm saying? It's all of that. And if you don't have your game in order during that launch window, all right, you're essentially screwing your chances of having a successful game. And I feel like this is what's happening right now with Star Wars. You know, it came out on Friday. It's now Sunday. EA says they're going to patch it. We're all waiting. And if they don't get that patch out by like midweek, what's going to happen is the focus is going to shift. We got Redfall coming out on Tuesday. If the Street Fighter 6 beta actually does come out tomorrow, people are all going to be already talking about other things. And if they don't get that, if they don't get that consistency down where, we're going to get that patch out right away, and then, we're going to continue to improve the game, and we're going to listen to the demands of our consumers who are upset about the game, this game will be forgotten. And that's a concern for me too. I spent almost $70 on it, all right? And if I don't play this game within the next week, like let's say they don't patch the game until 2 weeks from now, will anyone really care about the game 2 weeks from now? Or are you guys just going to say, just don't even bother with it. Just do other stuff, right? It very well could be that. You guys could say, oh, well, don't play it. And that would be sad because apparently the game is good. The reviewers who played it and got through it said the game is outstanding. I was really enjoying myself until the performance issues hit. So imagine a game that could be a Game of the Year contender that ends up being a game that's completely skipped over and forgotten by most people because of a bad launch and a botched attempt to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope not. I want to play this game and enjoy it, and I'm nervous that if they don't get their asses in gear and get this patch out right away, that moment, that flash in the pan hype is going to fizzle out, and people are just going to want other things, including me. I'll be ready to move on. No one's going to want me to go back and play Jedi Survivor. They're going to be groaning whenever I try to wedge it into the schedule. You know what I mean? Okay. What? I don't know if I believe this. Someone tipped $2 and says, Moist Critical put out a video last night. He spent hours on the frog boss in Star Wars. He died over 120 times. Apparently the boss is bugged. Does anyone believe this? Does Moist Critical spend hours on single bosses? Like, this doesn't sound anything like the content he puts out at all. This sounds like a bunch of baloney to me. What about you guys? This sounds like baloney to me. When was the last time that he did something like that? Right? If anyone can confirm if that's real, but that sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. Bullshit. No, I agree. See, Naysayer says that frog boss isn't even that hard. You're right. If you could control your character if there wasn't insane performance issues, that boss wouldn't be that bad. The problem is the boss literally can one-shot you with several of its attacks, and you can't get your controls to react. So if you can't, if I could see it, he's going to attack, okay, let me dodge to the side. Half the time you do it, and it won't come out. You're like, what the hell is this? I might as well just fucking put my controller down and let the boss just eat me. What's the point? Exactly, the Rancor wasn't bad. The Rancor killed me a few times, but there wasn't massive performance issues fighting the Rancor, and I was able to beat it in like 3-4 tries, right? I think it was like 4 or 5. While this frog thing, it just, the game will not run well in that cave. It's shit. I loved Fallen Order, but I never actually finished it. It's pretty sad to see the new one has the same issues at launch. The latest Digital Foundry video really shows how badly optimized it is. Oh, did they put out a video about these issues? That's interesting. I completely agree that, again, this is supposed to be a high-profile game from a big studio. You can't put it out in 2023 like this. Enough forgiving these guys and saying, oh, it's fine, they'll fix it in a couple of weeks. No one cares about a couple of weeks. We want to play it now because we bought it. If we don't play it now, we just don't want to play it at all, right? So, yeah. Thank you, Dark Maggie. I appreciate that. Hemlover saying it's real. He says, there's a video called The Boss That Almost Made Me Rage Quit, and there's a picture of Ogdo on Penguin's Zero channel. So he did do it? Oh, okay. Well, then I take it back. If it's true. It sounded like maybe someone was trying to start some drama, but that's interesting. I'm not lying. Go watch it. Here's a link to his channel. The hardest boss I've ever fought. So, yeah, apparently this voice critical thing is real. You want to know the truth? All right. I'm going to say something, and of course, a lot of people are going to laugh.
Here we go.
For the content that I've watched Moist Critical put out, I actually find it very entertaining. I actually feel like we actually have similar opinions and a like mind on stuff. But I think that a guy like Moist Critical would never care to even have like a normal conversation with a guy like me because people turn me into an internet meme and a lolcow and an asshole, right? So it sucks because I really feel like, basically like we play the game, we get to that boss, we both hate it. We have that same feeling. We have that same exact opinion of the game, right? And sometimes I'll watch his content and I'll be like, I totally understand what he's saying. I get it. And I think his sense of humor is great too. I actually think he's probably a nice guy and a cool guy to hang out with. You know what I mean? But I would never get the time of day from a guy like that. Instead, he sees me as a joke meme on the internet because so many people fucking crap on me and dump on me and make negative things about me all day. So I'll never even get a normal conversation with the guy. Not once would it even happen because he has no interest. He sees me as a fucking clown and a joke because of what people have done to me on the internet. So whatever. It sucks because it's like, see, he agreed with you. Here's the video. And I'm like, I don't even believe it. I think you're just trying to start shit with the guy because that's what people do. They just want to be, again, they want to make everything into a fucking clown story. It's so dumb, right? So, anyway, it's interesting to find that we have a similar situation there with the Star Wars game for sure. Okay. No, I'm not saying I really want to hang out with him. What I'm saying is he's probably the kind of guy I would get along with. You know what I mean? Like, we're of like mind on certain things. But God forbid that I ever think that the guy would ever want to, like, have a chill conversation with me because I'm a fucking meme on the internet who's to be derided and made fun of and shat on constantly without any kind of exception, right? Lol cow. So because of that, I don't get the respect from anyone. Right? Because I really did so much to deserve that. But, we could talk about that till the cows come home, and it's just a waste of everybody's fucking time at this point. So, Hobo X says, Digital Foundry released their PS5 Star Wars video, saying the PS5 tried to keep the frame rate above 30 by dropping the resolution very low, even below 720p. Wow, that's so bad. What happened? What fucking happened? What is going on with this game? They're just telling me they pushed too far. They pushed the graphical fidelity of the game too far to the point where none of these platforms can support what they want to do. You know what I mean? That's just shit. Linuli says it took Moist over 2 hours to beat that boss. I guess you would have been able to beat it in 2 hours. Here's the thing. I definitely would have beaten it if I stuck with it. You saw that last attempt. I got it down to like maybe 30% health. So if I just kept getting being determined, I definitely would have beat it. But the point was I wasn't having fun anymore. Because the game wouldn't react and it was so sluggish and dropping frames, it wasn't a fun fight. It would have been a fun, challenging fight if the game was responsive. I would have had a good time with it. But at that point, I was like, I just don't want to play anymore. It ruins your overall experience, right? Stupid. Arkham, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, do you not feel the consumer deserves better? So Arkham says, not everything can be a masterpiece when it comes out. Games like that, when they first launch, they're going to have bad things about them, but then they'll patch it and it turns out being a really good game. Like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to understand something. I want you to put this into perspective, okay? Let's say you go to the grocery store and you buy a bag of apples, all right? But the bag of apples is horrible. Do you agree with the grocery store that that's okay as long as those apples will taste good next week? You can't eat the apple till next week. It just has to sit around your house and not taste good. If you buy a car, right? And the moment you drive the car off the lot, the car is sputtering and stalling and the tires keep losing their air and you're told, oh, just wait 2 months and in 2 months the car will run fine. Is that acceptable? No. The moment you buy things, you're supposed to have the product at its optimal value and usage. You're not supposed to be buying something and then having a time lock release of when you can enjoy the product you already bought. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, just in reality, no, this is not acceptable. I'm sorry. Like, I understand people like, as long as it's eventually good, it's fine. I don't like that mentality. And I hate to say it, I almost think that games like No Man's Sky or Rainbow Six Siege kind of created this mentality among gamers. Just forgive the initial mistakes and just, wait for the good game to eventually come. And I think this kind of created a very bad mindset among consumers. That should not be how it is. Those are the exceptions to the rule where the initial offerings of those games were awful. But then over time, the game developers bought into the fact that people were supporting them and said, okay, we will live up to what we promised and the expectations, and we're going to continue to improve our games till they're good, playable games. I don't think that we should all just collectively say it's okay to release a broken game and we'll just trust us, we'll fix it later. No, I don't think that should be the case at all. I think that's a bad mindset. That's a bad way to go about business, quite frankly. Okay?